I'm going to tell you how to get Tier 2 sponsorship job so you can remain in the UK to build your career after graduation. Make sure you stay till the end of my video so you can download my list of 50 companies that sponsor international students for Tier 2 work visa. Hi guys, I'm Valeria from mindthegrad.com and welcome to my YouTube channel. Here I share a lot of advice about education and career in the UK. So if you don't want to miss my new video every week, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. A few years ago, I graduated from university and I managed to get a Tier 2 sponsorship job in a top investment bank. Now I also advise other students on how to get hired in the UK. So I'll share my strategy in 7 easy steps. All are pretty simple, actionable techniques anyone can follow to make sure they increase their chances of getting hired in the UK. When I was applying for graduate scheme jobs, I did not have any perfect grades. I did not have a first, I did not have any connections, I did not have any experience in the sector, and I do not speak perfect English. But what I did, I invested a lot of time into my job search strategy. So, without wasting any more time, let me share with you what I did. Step number 1 is to be specific about the role and the sector you're applying for. What I mean by that is that you have to decide approximately which role and sector you're going to go for. It is not efficient to apply to all the jobs you can find on the internet. To be honest, I have to admit, at first what I did, I looked at the companies that I knew sponsored Tier 2 visas and I just applied for all the roles they had available. I didn't really think about which skills I had, which experience I had, and which roles I would be naturally more suited for. I think it is more strategic to think about which roles and sector you will go for and then start your job applications. I'm not saying you have to decide very specifically, but you do have to think about whether you're going to be a front office investment banker or a finance specialist. This is because your CV, your cover letter, your application questions are all going to be different depending on the role and sector you're applying for. Another point about the sector and field you're applying for. In certain roles and sectors, there are going to be more Tier 2 sponsorship jobs available and more graduate schemes for international students. I'm not saying that the jobs from another sector will not be available for you, but it'll definitely be harder to find, it'll be more competitive and more risky to invest all your time pursuing a job in a sector that doesn't have that many Tier 2 sponsorship jobs available. So you might be wondering then, which sectors should I aim for? Where are the jobs for international students? According to real numbers and research, and also based on my experience, there are 6 main sectors you should aim for. First one is investment banking and asset management, then finance, accounting, audit and professional services, consulting, IT and technology, and engineering. These sectors are not in any particular order. I'm just giving you the areas where the jobs are more available for international students, and by jobs I mean the jobs that are going to give you a Tier 2 work visa. Step 2 is only apply for companies that are going to sponsor your Tier 2 visa. Some companies, even big ones, are not sponsors for work visa. And I know some people recommend applying to companies and then if they choose you or once you have already gotten through application process, then suggesting them to sponsor you. Yes, it is possible, but I think it is a bit of a waste of time because you don't have that much energy and time to waste your application time on applying for companies that don't sponsor and don't have the system to sponsor you for work visa. What you should do is only apply for companies that 100% have the ability to sponsor. There are lots of ways to find out whether a company has Tier 2 sponsorship in place. So please don't waste your time applying to all the random companies because you don't have that much time to invest into your job search. You have to be very smart about it. Step number 3 is to apply early, and there are 2 things that I mean by that. First of all, you have to apply early within your education. So I recommend applying for an internship in your 2nd year and applying for a graduate scheme in your 3rd year. Don't wait until you graduate to start looking for a job. And secondly, what I mean by early is that if you want an internship or a graduate scheme, you have to apply starting from August previous year. So if you want to work in June 2020, you have to start applying in August 2019. Most applications open in August, but you'll have till the end of the year, I think, to apply for most schemes. But even if you miss that deadline, there are still going to be some roles available, but it's going to be less and less every month. Step number 4 is to apply for a lot of roles, and by a lot I mean at least 20 or 30. And of course, quality should always beat quantity, but you need to have a lot of applications to make sure you get the job. It is like lottery, you have to play to make sure you win. I applied for at least 60 different roles before I got my first interview. And that sounds like a crazy amount of applications, and it was. And it was mainly my mistake because I didn't follow the 7 steps I'm sharing with you today. You have to apply and apply and apply. I know some people who have applied for 2-3 roles, didn't hear back and said, UK doesn't want me, they don't want to sponsor me. Also, you have to allocate some serious time to apply for these roles. I honestly spent more time applying than studying in my third year. I don't recommend that, but I do want to emphasize that you have to allocate a significant portion of your time in your final year for job applications, beginning of the year, not end of the year. Step number 5 is to get all the help you can get. So talk to people that already got jobs, talk to people you know in the sector, go to career talks, go to a career consultant in your university, dive into deep research on the internet. And if you're watching this video, you have already done that, so well done. But do make sure you get the information you need. Also, you can work with a career consultant or coach, hint, me or anyone else. The more you prepare, the more you invest into researching the information, the more you study the questions you have in mind, the more you prepare for interviews, the better the chance of getting a job. Step 6 is to clearly understand each step of job application process. So make sure you know how to create a perfect CV and cover letter. You have to also understand how to answer job application questions, how to pass assessment tests, how to pass telephone interviews and assessment centers and in-person interviews. I know it seems like a lot of things to worry about and to think about, but trust me, there are lots of students who go through this process every year and they manage to get a job and a career they want. So don't stress out. Just make sure you know what you're doing and you clearly think about each step and prepare for each step so you don't miss a great opportunity just because you haven't researched how to write a perfect cover letter or you haven't prepared for interview on the phone. And step number 7, it's a bit different from all other steps. It is to get a 2-1 in your undergraduate degree. And why it is important? Unfortunately, it is a requirement for many graduate schemes in the UK. It is not the top grades, as you know, it's not the first and it's not 100% in all your courses, but 2-1 shows that you have a decent understanding of your degree. My employer have actually checked that when I have applied for my job and for my visa. They made sure I have a 2-1 in my degree. Also, as I said, I wish to share 50 companies that sponsor Tier 2 visa for international students. So please check out the link below in my description box to make sure you can download this list. It's completely free, it's just my information for you. And I hope that someone will find this list useful when applying for jobs in the UK. As I said, you can also check out my website to make sure you have the information you need and for ways for us to work together, and ask me any questions in the comments, connect with me on Instagram, subscribe, all that stuff, you know. Thank you for watching. Best of luck from Mind The Grad. Bye!